I see many teachers making this mistake again and again, and they don't realize and they keep refusing to accept the reality. The reality is you cannot teach English to a child the same way you would teach English to an adult, because there's a big difference, right? The difference in the brain is so drastic, ignoring it would not result any good. So let me help you understand what I mean by this, what actually is the difference. See, there is this concept we now know as neuroplasticity, which simply says that one's learning ability is dependent on their age, right? If you're a young person, your ability to adapt, your ability to learn, right, is much better than a person who is like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, right? So that's why I always emphasize on the idea that we should focus on children a lot, because this is the age, right? This period from 5 to 12, oftentimes 15, this is the best time of a person's life to learn, to build skills, to gain knowledge, right? To equip them with the right tools for the rest of their life. So I have to say this, that if you don't figure out a way how you would teach English to a child, a kid, then I don't think you would be able to achieve the results you would want to see. So let's try to understand how actually a child should and would learn better. So I'm gonna tell you the exact way you would teach English to a child and the exact way you would teach English to an adult. So first, let's talk about the adult. For adults, I'd say we should focus on the grammar. We should absolutely do that. Grammar is key here, because grammar provides us a structure, a step-by-step process to know what to learn when, right? You know tenses, you know parts of speech, you're dealing with each of the tense individually, you're learning them, you're practicing them, you're building the skill, right? This is for adults. The reason is simple, because adults cannot learn something holistically, right? If you put them in an environment, they might be able to understand a few words, a few sentence structures, they might be able to deduct some meanings of the words, but at the end of the day, that natural fluency of the language would not be able to achieve, okay? So if we want to achieve that, the natural, the organic fluency, we would start from a child. Only a child brain can achieve that level of fluency in a small period of time, right? A person who's 25 might take 5 years to learn what a child can learn in 4-6 months. Just imagine the difference. Now let's talk about a child. The only goal for you to teach a child to speak in English language is just simply provide them the environment. Make sure they are listening to a lot of English content. If possible, have them a teacher like me, right? My job is to basically just simply, what I would do is talk to them. That's it. That's exactly what you need to do. Talk to them, have them express themselves to you, right? So this is the process. It's a very gradual process. In the first 2 months, you would not notice any difference, because in the first 2 months, we only focus on the listening part, right? The child is listening. He is trying to understand new words. He's trying to understand the structures of the sentences. And then after 2-3 months, we would assign him projects and assign him exercises to practice his speaking. So first part is listening. So child, basically, if you provide them the environment, they're reading a lot of books, they are listening to a lot of English. You can use internet, you can use YouTube. YouTube is a great resource. Many people undermine its importance. If a child is interested in a subject, movies, video games, science, science fiction, whatever they like to read about or to know about, have them to watch videos on YouTube in English. That's the case here, and this is your own responsibility to build their interest to learn English, right? Create a system in your house, create a routine, create emotional connection to the language, okay? So for me, at the end of the day, I would say, if you're dealing with this age bracket of 5 or let's say 7 to 15, don't focus on grammar. Don't focus on like making lists of words to memorize, then meanings, and then whatnot. I don't care, because that doesn't work. We have seen it, right? Children learn English, grammar, tenses, vocabulary, everything in the school, but they never become able to speak or even write. Okay, they can't even write English. Okay, so the goal should be is to provide them English as a whole. Don't divide English into components for child. Do it for adult, but for a child, for a kid, give them the whole language in one dish. Okay, in every single session, whatever they're doing, however they're improving their listening skills or reading skills, they should be able to feel the language as a whole, what it feels like to notice two different emotions in one single session. There's anger, there is curiosity, there is passion, there is compassion. So it's your job now. For kids, I'm gonna end this video here. Always try to create a system, an environment where there's English around. Their surroundings become the language. And then you would see after some time, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, the child would be able to communicate in a way that might be unimaginable to you right now. Okay, so it's possible, it's very possible. All it needs is a right strategy, approach, right? You need to know how it works, and I'm telling you exactly what you need to do. Grammar, writing down silent worksheets, all of that, it doesn't work. Provide them the opportunity to talk. Okay, so this is the basically the this is my goal, to just to have conversations with the kids, right? Make them comfortable, allow them to express themselves, to communicate their thoughts, talk about a subject they find interesting, they find enticing and exciting. So that's the organic approach, that's the right approach, that's how it works. So I would end it here. I'll see you next time.